You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, Black and White Sports fans, we have been covering Stephen A. Smith and his contract negotiations with ESPN. I believe last year we found out that Stephen A. Smith wanted $25 million a year at ESPN. He's currently making something like $12 or $13 million a year. ESPN comes back and offers him $18 million. Now, we all know that he wanted 25 because he wants to make more money than Pat McAfee and Aikman and Buck. Before they actually came there, he was the highest paid person. But Stephen A. Smith, man, he's been flirting around with actually, dare I say, leaving ESPN. He's talking about doing other stuff. Of course, you know, he has his podcast, and he's been flirting with running for president. Now, I believe that Stephen A. Smith has no shot whatsoever to become the Democratic Party nominee. Also, Stephen A. has made it pretty clear. He loves his money. He wants his money. And of course, you know, running for president costs a lot of money. And when you become president, you're basically working for pennies compared to what Stephen A. Smith actually gets on ESPN. And I'm pretty sure that he makes more money off his podcast, probably with sponsorships and stuff, than the $420,000 that presidents do get now. President Trump, of course, is a billionaire, and he pretty much just donates his money that he gets from the White House to charity. I believe he takes like $1. That's pretty much it. But now, we got some news on Stephen A. Smith's future now with ESPN. And with this pretty much tells you, man, that his presidential future is over with. This man will not be running for president, guys, because Stephen A. Smith has cashed in, and he has cashed in big at ESPN. Now, Stephen A. Smith is always doing something outside of First Take with ESPN. You see him on the NBA games and stuff like that. He has now signed a massive 5-year, $100 million deal with ESPN. Look here, guys. Breaking news. Stephen A. Smith agrees to stunning new ESPN deal and gets a massive pay raise. So I do believe now, guys, he is actually the highest paid person at ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. Look here. It says Stephen A. Smith is now ESPN's $100 million man. And Stephen A. I believe, is only 57 years old. So he's going to be 62 at the end of this deal. The First Take host, NBA analyst, podcaster, and frequent talk show guest has agreed to a 5-year deal that will pay him that 9-figure sum, according to The Athletic's Andrew Marchand. He previously made $12 million a year, so he nearly doubled his salary with the worldwide leader after months of speculation about his contract. I believe it's been close to a year. Previously, the Wall Street Journal reported Smith rejected an $18 million a year offer from ESPN. Multiple outlets have since reported he was seeking $25 million annually from the network as part of his next deal. Although Smith will stay at First Take, now this is the kicker, guys. His daytime show on ESPN, the tireless worker, will not be seen quite as extensively on the network, one source told The Athletic. He will no longer be a centerpiece of NBA pregame shows, but might begin making some Monday Night Football appearances. So, guys, he's making more money and he's going to work less. Maybe he actually wanted that. I mean, Stephen A. Smith has actually talked about the reason why he never got married. I believe he actually has a daughter, though, but he never got married is because he's pretty much married to his work. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, say what you want about him, man, but this guy never stops. This guy is always doing something. I don't see how he does it, man, because, you know, when you actually go on First Take, that show is 2 hours long, but they're doing like 2 hours of pre-show prep before that. And then he has his podcast. He's appearing here and there. I don't know how the man actually sleeps. But look at this here. The ESPN host has been flirting with a presidential run after a national survey revealed last month he would receive more support than several high-profile Democrat hopefuls in the 2028 election. That's not saying much because the Democrats have nobody, absolutely nobody. In an exclusive interview with DailyMail.com shortly after the survey was released, Smith left the door open for a potential run in 3 years' time if the American people call for it. He did, however, stress that he has no personal desire to run, but he keeps talking about like he wants to run. You know what? Maybe he was trying to use that as a negotiating tool with ESPN. He's talking about, all right, I'm going to leave ESPN to run for president. Now, Stephen A is kind of like backed off of that, but he's still kind of flirting with it. I believe Stephen A definitely loves the attention. I truly do believe he loves the attention, but Stephen A loves his money. I don't blame the man. I'm happy for Stephen A. Smith, man, that he got his money. I want everybody out there to make as much money as possible. You know, hopefully one day I can make $20 million a year like Stephen A. Smith. Of course, over here, we're small time. We're not making nearly that kind of money. Okay? Not nearly that kind of money. It goes on. And during a recent appearance on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he discussed the idea of a presidential bid once again. When asked by Fallon why he has emerged as a candidate for the Democrats, Smith answered, "Votes and nuts, number one. Number two, the Democratic Party, they lost. They had a bad few months. We all know this. And even though there's a lot of qualified Democrats all over the country from a local perspective, governors, mayors, stuff like that, there's no real national voice. And to moi, they've come to me." Well, Stephen A., my question is, why do you want to align yourself with losers? Why? The Democratic Party is losers. Now, he knows that he has no shot whatsoever, but Stephen A. can make a lot of money, man. Stephen A. is good at what he does. I mean, I find Stephen A. to be extremely hilarious, folks, when he's talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Every time the Dallas Cowboys lose a football game, I do go to X, man, and I check out Stephen A. because he'll come out there, especially if the Cowboys have a dramatic loss, like in the playoffs or something like that. He'll put on that Cowboys hat and he will clown the Cowboys with that laugh. And he's wearing a hat. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I have nothing to say because Stephen A. Smith is hilarious talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Hilarious what he does with the Cowboys. Now, the reason why he hates the Cowboys is over a woman. That's pretty petty right there. That's actually pretty pathetic right there. But they have been. It's been put to bed. Stephen A. Smith is not running for president. He just got a whole bunch of money. He's not going anywhere. Maybe one day, though, he'll leave. Maybe he'll leave ESPN at the end of his contract. Maybe his podcast to get like super big and do his own thing like that. But you never know. He may actually just do both. I mean, Stephen A. is going to be getting up there in age. Maybe when he's 62, he's just going to want to say, all right, I want to do First Take, and then I want to do my podcast, and that's it. But something's telling me he's not going to slow down. I mean, there's really no time for politics for Stephen A. Smith to run. He's a sports guy at heart. So that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.